Everyone, and welcome to a new video of Firepower Threat Defense series. In this video, we are going to see policy-based routing on FTD. So we are going to configure PBR on this FTD, and we'll see how to do that, and then also that we'll verify that it works. So right now, the setup is like this: FTD has two default routes, one this way, one this way. Okay, so both the routes are being used because of ECMP, and ECMP is happening on both the default routes. Now what we want is 3.3.3. Let me put that IP address here as well. So this IP address should always be routed via this path on the top. Okay, it should never go here. Right now it can go here or here, thus causing the intermittent connectivity to 3.3.3 because it only exists here. Okay, so we'll do a PBR to do that. So in order to do the PBR, first we need to create a ACL. Okay, so there are two types of ACL, standard and extended. Okay, extended ACL gives you the capability to categorize the traffic based on the source and destination pairs. But in terms of standard ACL, usually in router, standard ACL matches the source addresses which are mentioned in the, in the standard ACL. So if you put like permit 10.0.0.0/24, then it will match all the sources that will have that IP address. But in here, it will match the destinations. Okay. So it will match the destinations in here. Now we'll create an extended ACL, okay, because we want our LAN when going to 3.3.3 send the traffic to there, or we can use standard as well. Let's do a standard one, okay. But I would say it's better if we do the extended because I wanted to show you something else as well. So let's add a standard ACL. I will say LAN and then to 3.3.3. Okay, let's add an entry here. Click on add, and yeah, we want to allow because we want to have the traffic go through. Logging, I'm gonna keep default. There are more values in here. You can select per access list deny and disabled as well. Okay, and then you need to select what network, what source. I want my LAN as source, and what destination. I'll just put the IP address in here. 3.3.3. Perfect. Now you can mention the ports in here. We are gonna keep any because our traffic is ICMP. And just one more second, guys. I was looking for something. Let me just click on this add button and see what if there is an option. Come on. Yeah, okay. I'll create ICMP object only. That would be great. ICMP. Okay, all type code any, not a problem, but it should be ICMP. And I'll hit any. Sorry, hit save. The name ICMP conflicts with the predefined. Okay, so the ICMP is already there. I'll see if ICMP is here. Okay. Looks like we cannot use specifically as ICMP in here. So I'm gonna keep any, but there is a good thing. You can have applications as well. What application should be matched by this extended ACL? And just a word of warning, you cannot have all the applications here, okay? There are only certain ones which are available for this feature. So we are gonna select any application because ICMP is not listed for us. But if you want to go with YouTube, YouTube is listed. You can just say, okay, YouTube always should be routed via that specific secondary link. So we'll go with any. I'll click on add. Rule is in. Hit the save. So this marks the creation of our extended ACL. But now, in order to do the PBR, we have to go to devices, device management, and then you need to edit the device on which we want to implement the PBR. In our case, FTD1. I'll go to routing and I will go to PBR, which is policy based routing. You remember when we were configuring the interfaces, there was something known as priority. So if ECMP routes match in the PBR, Then you can define what interface to be preferred to send the traffic. We are going to keep the default priority. So you need to click on add here, and then let's select the ingress interface. So our traffic will be coming on inside interface. Yes. Match criteria. What ACL we want to match? We created this. And then what egress interface we want to send to a egress interface or send to a next hop. If I select IP address, I just need to give the IP address of the routers this interface, and that's it, job done. But I want to go with the egress interface, and then you can select the multiple interfaces here. On what basis decision should be taken to forward the traffic? I'm selecting interface priority, but you can select order as well. Okay, in whatever order they are added in here. Also then minimal jitter, maximum mean opinion score, minimal round trip time, and minimal packet loss. This all is if you are doing that path monitoring in the at the interface level. Okay, from there these values can. So I'm gonna keep the interface priority or the order. For me, order is fine because I just need the one value to go in. And yep, there are if you hover to this icon, then you have the definition of the things as well there. So you can decide which one to choose. And that's it. I'll click the save button. Yes. And now I'll hit the save button again. Okay. Now I the time to deploy the configuration. While the time is by the time it is deploying, I'll show you. See, I have the ECMP configuration as we see in the previous videos as well when we were, looking at the ECMP stuff. You see, I have a ECMP zone and then I have two static routes out of those two interfaces. But I'm always routing 3.3.3 via this interface using the PBR. Okay. So right now the deployment is running. I'll wait for it to finish, and then while I'll bring up my internet gateway router where we will run debug IP ICMP stuff. And then I'll also bring up our VPC. Here is our VPC. And as soon as this deployment is complete, we'll ping from there and it should keep on working. And I should see the response being going out from here. So let's wait for the deployment to finish and then do a ping from our VPC. Okay, guys, so now the deployment is now complete. Let's do a ping and see how are we getting the reports on the internet router. Ping. Ah, sorry, I need to go with 3.3.3. So dot 3.3.3. Perfect. Irrespective of how many times I try, it should always work because now the traffic will be taking the PBR. Okay, so that was about the PBR. I want to tell you guys something else as well in here. The thing is, I noticed something. So yeah, I need to go back to routing, guys. Hold on. Just 1 second. Okay, so the thing is, if I go to PBR, see here I used the egress interface. Okay, that's when we selected the interface. Let me show you egress interface, and that's when we selected this interface. That only seems to work when you already have a route via that interface. Okay, if you already have a route coming via that interface, okay, maybe not for the same destination, but just a route. So then it seems to work. But if I remove the route, so basically right now I have two default routes. If I remove this route, then it stops working. Okay. But The method of, the other method, even if you had the root or not, this method, IP address one, this method, this always works, irrespective of you have the root or not. But if you have a root, right? If you have a root, then that option works. Otherwise, it does not work. That's what I have noticed. Feel free to let me know in the comments if this is something with me or you guys have also noticed the same. So that's it about the PVR. And we wrap up this video with that. And I'll see you in the next video. Till then, have a good day.